Hi, welcome to another tournament here at Night Watch Games down in San Antonio, Texas. This was held on 18 February 2018. This is the Scum Civil War. It's a series of Civil War tournaments that Night Watch ran where it is one faction specific. So everyone's running Scum today. Today's matchup has Stephen Cupperly and an Austin native by the name of David. I'm not going to try the last name. I don't want to butcher it. Steven's coming in with Bosk with expert handling, trying to be a little tricky there. And Captain Nem. David has Boba and Kath. Both all ships pretty tricked out. David's sitting there on the left side of the screen, and Steven's on the right. Looks like both men. It's an interesting rock placement. They decided that they were not going to play around with the rocks today, and they're going to put them pretty easy way of getting out of the way there. Both also look like they're ready to joust each other, so we'll have to see. David's setup's pretty cool. It's got cruise missiles on it, which at first I didn't understand, but after watching him play through, I definitely get it. He can do some things with those cruise missiles that are pretty deadly. Coming out slow out of the gate, that looks like probably Kath, and if that's the case, then David will have the initiative. Bosk coming out slow. That's pretty standard. I play Bosk a lot. Very effective ship, but I don't like coming straight out on the targets like that. I don't like traditionally jousting. I like to come in from the side. Boba coming out slow, and now Nem. Nem's pretty standard. Gonna toss bombs around. Gonna have harpoon missiles. Believe he has genius. Bosk is pretty loaded down too. He does have Mangler Cannon on there, and I'm not a big fan of Mangler Cannon on Bosk. It's 4 points, and there's other things you can do with those 4 points, and you're not inside that front arc enough. It's been my experience that you might shoot that Mangler Cannon 3 times at most, and it's not worth it for me. So it's gonna target lock out of the gate here for David. That was a pretty fast move, so if he fires a missile at him, he's going to be able to cruise missile. He's going to be able to throw a lot of dice. It looks like Steven's going to try to come fast, close that gap to try to negate that missile, but I don't know if that does that or not, so I'm about to see what Boba's going to do. With that expert handling, I might just kind of shoot myself right in front of Kath there. He's going to target lock on Kath. I forgot to take a good look at that list before the start of the game, but I believe he has a missile on there too. Yeah, see, there's a 4 there also, so what that means is that his cruise missiles can fire 5 dice, so that's a dangerous proposition for Bosk. Now, of course, you won't be able to fire him at range 1, but I'm going to show you something here in the next couple turns, which I think is kind of cool about what David's doing. David, I captured him late, so he had to take the first buy. Then he played Charlie Thier, one of our last videos, second. So this is his 3rd game. He's in 2. Both these players are 2-0. So Steven's going to throw a bomb here. It's a little peculiar because Bosk is going to eat that bomb, and Bosk is already going to take a bunch of damage, so he's going to run into himself here. I don't know if he fully thought out that 3 bank or not. That's a little unfortunate for that bomb, because if he rolls hits, that's 2 free damage on a ship that is going to eat a bunch of damage anyway, so see what he's going to do with it here. Maybe he thought he might catch Kath, have enough room there to target lock Kath and fire one of his missiles. So rolls blanks. There's no soul sixa, or there's no see, and so that bomb didn't do anything to David, and I think it might have taken a shield or two from Bosk. Maybe not. Well, I have a hard time with those bombs without Cad Bane on there. I played Cad Bane on mine today, and I don't know that I would have done it otherwise. It's kind of hard not guaranteeing those hits, and I know why it's so effective on Miranda and Nim with the beam. Got a TLT shot coming at somebody here, and Steven's dice are cold. David's dice look to be warm enough, at least. No damage on the initial few shots. So here comes Boba. I'd go range one at Bosk here. Bosk is the easy target. He's gonna take a beating. So yeah, 4 dice on Bosk. It looks like. He's gonna spin that target lock for nothing. So expertise on both, I believe. So 3 hits. Looks like 3. Oh, into a hole already. Yeah, see. Oh, no. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, 3 shields. There he goes. Steven's getting a little ahead of himself. Next up, Kath. So Kath did come pretty fast. So if that is a range 2 in arc, I believe he's going to be able to fire his cruise missile. Yeah, it looks like 5 dice in that hand there. So he's going to make Steven pay here. So 3 hits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spend the target lock. If he rolls pain here, it's going to hurt. 1 pain, so it looks like 4 hits. Oh, guidance chip, there you go. Maybe an evade, so even if it is, it's going to be the last of the shields, and 1 damage. Oh, he didn't evade. 2 crits, too. That's rough. So, Bosk, 4 hit points left. Oh, you know what? That reroll from Boba earlier was Dengar. That was not him spinning. It's gonna matter. So, I believe. Okay, yeah. So Bosk is gonna shoot here. He has a Maul on it, which is a curious choice when you could just take Dengar. He might have fired his missile there at Ketsu. His dice are not helping him out early on in this game. So yeah, that's a harpoon missile. Guidance chip, one of them, 3 hits. Has Maul on him and the cybernetic contraband and expert handling. Curious choice, you know. If you could take Dengar, you might as well just take Dengar. But Steven's trying to be tricky here today. Kath looks like he loses 3 shields there. Yeah, so 3 shields off Kath. Considering Bosk has 4 hit points left, that's a hard exchange. Next round here, and Kath is just gonna be able to turn and fire 4 more dice right at whoever's sitting behind him. So, oh, and a bomb. Bomblet generator maybe. Boba has a Slave 1 title, and Kath has the Industria title. This allows him to use Bomblet Generator. It's just going to be no fun for Bosk, who needs to be floating around in that area. It really is, at this point, with only 4 hit points, there's no point in running with Bosk. You might as well just take your beating and hope to take a ship with you as you go. Yeah, he's using the cybernetic contraband here, I believe. Maybe I'm not quite understanding. Oh, I think it's so he can do a. I would have to read the card. I don't really quite understand why the stress are coming out. I have to read the card to kind of understand Maybe he had maybe one of his crits was thrust control fire or something like that. So I don't know. That's not a that's a white move on the. Again, that's a card I probably should be more familiar with before I started the video, but that's okay. Got range 1 of Cath, which is not good for him, but if he's gonna die, as long as Boba doesn't kill him, at least he can maybe take Cath down with him. Also, yeah, see, this is the expert handling. We've all been messing around with expert handling on the large ships. I don't think you need it on Bosk with the 180 firing arc, but I think a crack shot or VI works better there. But Steven trying to be clever as he can be. Yeah, so whatever took place there, he has a bunch of stress and was able to do something that allowed him to stress. So this is a pretty veteran savvy move here on David's part. David says he plays a lot of scum. To know that you would have made that 4K was I mean, maybe he didn't. Maybe he's okay if he didn't. He thought, well, even if I don't, I'm still behind Bosk. But he makes, that's pretty veteran savvy if you ask me, just to kind of be able to eyeball that. And so he makes that. The good thing here for him is he still has that target lock sitting on Bosk, so that might have shut down his expertise, but he has enough rerolls in his life to not have to worry about that right now. I do like that 5 dice roll coming from Cath, though. That was clever. That, you know, a lot of people will put heavy laser cannon on Cath, so you fire 4 out the front and 4 out of the back or whatever it might be. Maybe throw in fearlessness, get a bunch of dice, but that the cruise missile almost accomplishes the same thing at least one time. And for 3 points, it's pretty efficient. See here, hopefully remembers to drop his bomb. I was watching this game earlier. I think I saw yeah, there he goes. Okay, that's fine. I remember he might have forgot the bomb once or twice. That might have really helped him out. It might have been a different game I was watching, but there's a lot of Nim. As you might imagine, on a scum tournament, there was lots of Nims out today. I won this tournament, went 4-0 with Nim and Sol Sixa. I wasn't quite sure. I've never flown Nim before any of this. I have a total of 5 games under my belt with them, and Nim Sol Sixa with Nim. I don't know Sol Sixa with anything else, but Sol Sixa with Nim is pretty awesome. Being able to drop, I loaded it out with 2 clusters and 4 prox mines. Of course, Nim's pretty standard, and just throwing bombs everywhere and making everyone's day miserable. It's pretty fun. I had a Cad Bane too, so I could re-roll. Like if it didn't roll very well, I could re-roll it. So it's the only thing that I don't like about, now that I've played it. I would much rather have a Nimaran, of course. That's, I guess, why everyone's hitting on it right now. They're going to discuss this a little bit here. Steven's not misunderstanding the harpoon effect. He does have 1 crit, but he has an evade token. He's trying to convince David that he takes the face down damage because the harpoon triggers, but it does not. The condition triggers when you have an uncancelled crit result at the end of the results of everything. Well, that means that evade token adds that dice result, then you can pair, and that would cancel that crit result. So I think Steven at this point is just hoping. He really wants that damage to go through pretty badly, but it's not going to happen. I let this conversation go on a little bit. I actually cut it. They walk out and come get me and ask me, and I tell them, no. He canceled that crit. It does not happen. That might be why that... Actually, that looked pretty smooth on the cut there. I'm kind of proud of myself for my little edits. These are coming out quick. I have not put out videos in a while, and I am doing this while the wife has the kids at the gym, so you are getting fly by your seat X-Wing commentary today. I do have a 3-year-old and a 11-year-old running around here somewhere. Hopefully they aren't playing with knives, or if they are, they're learning to be ninjas, which is important for young children. If you hear me a squeal and then a pause, that means that I am doing parenting duties and I am re-editing this as I go. Alright, so this looks like the end of Bosk here, probably. See how that works out for him. Oh, look at all those dice. I love Kath. Kath was one of my favorite ships until Scum started getting, until the Jump Master came out. Actually, still ran her for a little while after the first Jump Master before everyone started figuring out how effective Dangaroo could be, but it's 3. Is that 1 hit point left on Bosk? That's pretty impressive. It's because I believe he has 1 left, unless there's a double in there. I believe that. If that's true, that's good. It's good for that forces David to have to spend more time killing Bosk. Because I play Bosk a lot, and that's really what it's for. You kill 1 ship or maim it to death. I remember it happens here. This is okay. So this is going to trigger. He's going to trigger that harpoon. He's going to die here, but there's going to be a series of events that happens that I believe that's 3 hits and a crit right there, right? He blanks out, right? So first things first is he takes the face down damage card, right? All right. So now the 4 damage comes into effect. I believe Kath has 1 hit point, right? So you're going to take a shield. That's 1, right? Then he's going to take 2 more face down damage. That's 1, 2. So that's 3 damage there, right? Well, Boss can turn a crit into 2 hits. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they have 6 hit points. I would have. So he Boba Fett something off here. I would have turned that to 2 more hits and left Kath with 1. And the reason I would have done that is because then you could PS kill Kath, right? And then it's just a pretty healthy Nim against, unless it's a double damage. Then I take all that back, and that could be very well be the case. If that's a double damage, then he's got the double whammy there. He has Boba Fett. He's gonna Boba Fett something. I think it's expertise. Yeah, he popped expertise. I run Boba Fett on mine too, and I'll tell you that's a fun thing. I 4-LOM, Crackshot, Boba Fett, and Dengar K4 security droid with a missile, and that's a Bosk full of fun. I'll tell you what. So it looks like right now Steven's, the game's stacked against Steven, but he's still in this fairly well. As long as he plays this right, I would rely on that TLT and those side arcs not being not giving David shots. But David's, I just met the guy, here, and real nice guy. I think he got 2nd or 3rd. He is a savvy player, and he is very clearly. So he's gonna. I believe here he boosts, and then he has this nice arc, and I know he sees that 2-turn coming from Steven, right? Oh, that's what he did. So he parks himself right there. So here's, I think Steven's going to forget to drop his bomb, but he's going to 2-turn and be right in front of Boba. What are you going to... Oh, man, I'm saying all kinds of stuff that is wrong here. So I thought I saw that in one of these videos. I've been editing. I ran this tournament. I played in the tournament. I recorded the tournament, and stayed up after the tournament and edited some film and got one out, and trying to get another out now. So I will get some of these calls correct eventually. Or maybe not. Maybe this is the fun of my videos, is you have to just figure out what's going on, and I'm just going to say random things. So, range 1, hopefully Boba takes a couple of those, because Nim is going to take a couple of those for sure. Alright, so gonna contemplate some moves here. He's in a bad spot because he can't barrel roll in, so he's gonna opt to barrel roll out, get the range 2 instead of the range 1, which I'd probably do too. I don't know that I wanna. Yeah, I think you check for a target lock, so if you don't have a shot on Kath to kill him, you might as well not take the range 1 shot, which with 1 green dice it almost, I don't know, you never know how that's gonna work out for you. So this, so like I said, we started with 17. We were gonna do a cut to 4, which I don't think excited anybody. It's a very long day. We had a drop halfway through, or not even halfway through, by round 2. So, and it worked out where we only had 1 4-0. But David, I think, was second, and we had a Tom I'm gonna get this last name wrong. Pickerney, I believe, at third. Stephen Bachrin at 4th, San Antonio player, and then we had I'm gonna forget Chris's last name, but he was in 5th place. And just how competitive it was, Chris actually beat David and Tom in the Swiss, and I played him and I beat Chris, and he still wound up at 5th. The scores were so tight in that window right there that from 1st to 5th or 6th were so tight. Stephen, I think. All right, so 3 dice from Boba. 1 dice, probably a focus there. 3 shields. Like the dials here. Kath living on a prayer out there. 3 turn in. I know it's a chance to maybe get some damage off if he gets lucky before Kath dies. But with 3 turns out here, it's going to give him a nice arc because he knows Steven's going to want to turn in to try to kill Kath. That means that he's going to put Steven right in a bad situation where he's going to have to make a choice of either taking a range 1 shot from Boba. Hold on, sweetie. Hold on.
Can you help me?
Alright, so as I was saying, he's gonna have to make a choice here. Take that range 1, possibly from Boba, or get in a better, or move out and hope to TLT Kath. You know, the TLT is not a bad way to go. Although, if he has, I don't know if Steven has. I believe he does harpoons. If he does, the harpoon is such a guaranteed shot that I almost prefer it. But I guess at this point, if you're trying to hold on to hit points, because he still has to burn through Boba, that's just a choice you got to make there, I guess. But he's gonna go after Kath here. This is where I think that crit was a double damage, because he is going to roll. And I think he's going to hit here, do 1 damage, and yeah, see, so cast off the board. So that must have been a double. Either that or he fired a primary at him. Bubba rolled three there. Looks like 2 hits maybe. Damage. Does not look like it went through, or they didn't put it on the board. Here's the cool thing about the cruise missile. That target lock, he's left it strategically on Nim here. He knows Nim's going to have to try to play a game with him. So he just did a 4K. And if Nim stays in range, it's going to be 5 dice at him. Nim only has 10 hit points. And so Steven's going to want to be very careful with how he's going to approach him. I think, me personally, I would try to keep that distance until I got, side arc shots on Boba. Not sure who's winning on points here, but all he has to do is get Boba to half, and it's his game to lose. But he's gonna go into arc here. He's gonna risk that shot. I don't know if he remembers that there's another cruise missile coming for him, but maybe he hopes that he can take that shot and win this game. But yeah, so here's a TLT, and Steven's dice have not been helping him out any, so it's a little of a risky move here. Cock dice, 2 paint. Yeah, there's 1 damage, so CC. Boba still has shields. I wouldn't risk that. If he was in hole, I'd risk that, but 1 damage. David's another shield, so let's see what happens with that. But David's dice have been doing okay for him. His evades have been doing okay for him. So he's firing his cruise missile. His 5 dice. Nim's not gonna like this very much because it's a roll, it's a re-roll, and it's a guidance chip. So there are 3 paint on the table. All he has to do is roll 1 hit here. And turn 1. That might only be 4 hits because stress might have negated expertise. So you roll 2 dice. He only needs to roll 1 there. If that's an evade, that's pretty good. So the shield takes 1. There's 2 damage. There's a crit. That's 3 of them. I think it's console fire too. I'm not 100% sure on that, but he rolls the dice here in a little while and makes me think that that's what that is. So again, I think this is the 3rd game of the tournament. So 2 bank here. Maybe looking to put Nim on the rock, maybe. Or unless maybe he thought Nim was going to turn out here. Throw the bomb. Hope for the best. I don't know if Steven has genius or not. So he tosses the 5 out there, hoping it's going to get out there. If he has genius, I think I would use genius a little more often, but I'm not really sure if he does or not. Gonna bump here. Bomb doesn't hit. Sorry, I got an echo there if I do that wrong. So the bomb didn't hit. So it's a really close game. Going back to dials here. Got some text that rolls across. There's the list in case you're curious. Not quite sure how that wound up on my that part of the screen there, but not sure what that is. Steven doesn't seem to be too happy with it, or maybe he is happy with it, can't tell there, but Steven's playing with his dice in the corner. So David's going to go over a rock here. So he shouldn't get any actions, right? So Boba's injured here. He did not get a shot because he's in that side arc. So he's using that side arc pretty well. This is a good move here. I think it's going to continue to keep him in that side arc. He needs to continue to do damage. It's going to target lock here, I believe. TLTs. I believe those are focuses. Yeah, so he's going to pick them up and roll them again. And I think he only rolls one hit. It's rough. He's going to evade there. David's dice helping him out. And focus on 2 blanks, I do believe. So, or maybe not. Maybe there was a hit there, and I think he evaded it as well. So, tough break for Steven. Let's see what we got going on here. So he's gonna 2 bank in. I do believe this time Steven remembers to drop the bomb. Target lock. Yeah, see, I think Steven thought he was going to 3-turn in, but even if he did think he was going to 3-turn in, I would have still 2-turned out. Yeah, so he drops the bomb, hoping, and again, even if I don't remember if this one hits or not, but it's so crucial he missed that one previously. He turned in here. See, I think even if he would have thought that David was 3-turning down, I would have 2-turned or 2-banked out. You still play the range game there, right? I think, he was hoping to stay in that side arc, and that's what that would have done if David would have 3-turned down. They both have very few hit points. I think the Boba has 3 hit points, and I think that's what the consideration here is that it's still going to take 2 turns for Steven to kill Boba, so. Contemplating his, oh, he's going to move in. I think he's trying to arc dodge there, but that's not going to happen. Or maybe he's trying to get him in the front arc. Maybe if he thinks he gets him in the front arc, gets all 3 hits, wins the game. That's game. I don't think he has him in the front arc or able to TLT. Or maybe he does. Maybe I'm just missing here. Yeah, front arc. 2 damage. Let's see what pops up here. 1 hit. So, oh, he is at range 2, I guess. All right, so. That might be the other cruise missile. And that's a dead. Good game, David. You well earned 2nd place, I do believe. Yeah, that's a dead one. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll have this out soon.